Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video on this channel. Today we're going to be talking about everything that has happened in the last few hours involving Manon from KATSEYE and hybe, as well as the multiple unfortunate comments made by Daniela's father. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get started.
But you know it's coming. You're the one that's only calling.
To begin with, on February 20, the company released an official statement saying, "After open and thoughtful conversations together, we are sharing that Manon will be taking a temporary hiatus from group activities to focus on her health and well-being. KATSEYE remains committed to showing up for one another, and for the fans who mean everything to us, the group will continue scheduled activities during this time, and we look forward to being together again when the time is right." This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Manon has missed several group activities before, but she had never officially gone on hiatus. She was just occasionally absent from certain schedules. Things became even more confusing when Manon herself posted on Weverse saying, "Hi friends, I want you to hear this from me. I'm healthy, I'm okay, and I'm taking care of myself. Thank you for checking in. Sometimes things unfold in ways we don't fully control, but I'm trusting the bigger picture. Thank you for standing by me. I love you endlessly and can't wait to see you again." This caught everyone by surprise because it seems to contradict the company's statement. While the agency mentions health reasons for the hiatus, Manon says she is healthy and okay. Because of that, people started speculating that it might be related to mental health rather than a physical condition, and that maybe she needs time to take care of herself emotionally instead of dealing with a physical issue. Some people don't believe the health reasons behind the hiatus, because over the years there have been multiple idols who went on hiatus for reasons that later turned out to be different from what was officially stated. And that's why some fans think Manon might have been sending a hidden message with the line, "Sometimes things unfold in ways we don't fully control," interpreting it as her implying that she may not fully agree with the decision, but was asked, or even pressured, to step aside. On the other hand, some started speculating that this hiatus could be the first step toward Manon leaving KATSEYE altogether, and that the company might have been testing the waters for a long time to see how the public would react to her absence. This would supposedly explain why there have been several promotions where Manon wasn't present, even in situations where, with a bit of effort, she could have been included. One example people bring up is the Glossier campaign. You could argue that maybe on the day of the photo shoot, she genuinely couldn't attend for whatever reason. But fans noticed that in one of the group photos where all 6 members appear, she seems to be partially covered in a way that feels intentional. Then there's also the fact that the most viewed video on the group's channel is the dance practice for Gabriella, where coincidentally Manon is not there either. Another point people mention is that Coachella is in 2 months, and if Manon were truly unwell, whether physically or mentally, she might not be able to attend. Some have even linked this to past situations like the Mama performance update, where she also wasn't present, suggesting that maybe the level of performance planned for the festival is too demanding for her. Personally, I don't really buy that theory because Manon has already proven that she can handle intense choreographies without any issue. Out of nowhere, a supposed internal hybe document started circulating online claiming they were planning to terminate Manon's contract, but it looked so fake that it was almost embarrassing, and people quickly traced it back to a random individual online who apparently just has too much free time. For me, the biggest flaw in the theory that they want to remove her from the group is this: if hybe wanted her out, why would they have personally reached out to her to participate in Dream Academy in the first place? It doesn't make much sense to scout a girl from social media, invite her to audition for a global project, debut her in the final lineup, and then suddenly decide you want her gone. This situation is probably much more complex than what we see from the outside, and there are likely many factors we simply don't know about, but with the limited information available, all people can really do right now is speculate. I also wanted to talk about the situation with Daniela's father, because he has posted several comments that many people interpreted as hate toward Manon. The first comment was under a post discussing the possibility of Manon leaving the group, and he wrote, "The show must go on with or without a member. KATSEYE is bigger than one girl." On one hand, I can try to understand that maybe what he meant is that the group can't stop all activities just because one member is temporarily absent, but the wording makes it sound like he believes Manon is not an essential piece of KATSEYE, and that if she left tomorrow the group would have the same popularity and impact. Some people argued that it wasn't a personal attack, especially because under another post about an interview where Manon talked about how unfair it is to be labeled as lazy, particularly as a black woman, he commented, "People need to support, not to judge, embrace and unite the group, or get out of our fan base." However, unfortunately it didn't stop there. He later wrote, "We need girls who can grind, KATSEYE is a powerhouse, the show must go on," which many interpreted as implying that Manon is not working hard enough to keep up with the group, and that if she can't handle it maybe she should leave because the show must continue. In another comment he said, "Come back when you're ready to work." And the phrasing is strange because on one side it could sound empathetic, like don't rush back until you're ready, but ready to work also suggests that she wasn't working before, and maybe we could give him the benefit of the doubt, except that everything kind of falls apart with what many consider the worst comment, when a fan said that KATSEYE is a group of 6 pieces and wouldn't be the same without all of them. He replied that 5 is okay too. Again, you could try to interpret this in different ways, but in every possible reading it feels disrespectful. Even if hypothetically Manon couldn't continue, why would you publicly say something like that while she is still part of the group? The only scenario where I could somewhat understand it is if a decision had already been made internally and he was trying to do damage control, preparing fans to accept 5 members, especially since his daughter is still in the lineup, and of course he wants her to succeed. Still, it's very strange for a parent to make comments like this about their daughter's groupmate, because it inevitably reflects negatively on Daniela herself. No one is agreeing with what he's saying, and it's only giving people another excuse to hate her. Why would he feel comfortable publicly questioning Manon's role in the group? Because to me that is directly attacking her and her work. Nobody posts comments like that expecting zero backlash. Did he genuinely think people would agree? In what world would fans think it's okay to suggest that one member is expendable? Some people are even theorizing that maybe this is how Manon is talked about behind closed doors, and that's why he didn't see any issue saying it publicly. Because the only way you speak so casually about someone's position being replaceable is if that mindset has been normalized, and that opens uncomfortable questions. Would Daniela not step in because she agrees, or because she feels she can't? We all know that not every group is made up of best friends. Sometimes relationships are purely professional, but KATSEYE themselves have laughed off rumors that they don't get along, which makes this whole situation even more awkward, because if that's the case, why allow a parent to keep posting comments like this? Maybe you can't control 1 or 2 posts, because at the end of the day they are adults with their own social media accounts, but some of these comments were hours apart. At some point wouldn't you have a conversation and say please stop, this is only making things worse? At the end of the day, whether intentional or not, his words added fuel to an already tense situation, and instead of protecting his daughter, they may have made things harder for her. It's also worth mentioning that Daniela's father has raised eyebrows before, for example when he reposted a TikTok of his daughter with the caption, "Congratulations to whoever's getting it every night," which many people found inappropriate and unnecessary. Manon and in general, all the girls from KATSEYE have publicly shown a very close and warm relationship, not only with their own parents, but also with each other's families, which is why this whole situation feels especially strange. Maybe there were tensions long before and we just didn't notice, but right now everything is being re-examined. In the last few hours, a tweet has gone viral saying, "Who remembers when Daniela's family hosted a Thanksgiving and didn't invite Manon?" But that narrative isn't accurate because Manon herself clarified at the time that she was spending Thanksgiving with her friends.
How was Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was so good, you guys. Like I was spending it with like my friends, and then all of a sudden I go online and it's like mayhem. I'm like, sorry?
Still, after the recent comments from Daniela's father, some people are now looking back at that moment with suspicion. Honestly, I think a lot of this is unnecessary drama that has been amplified by Daniela's father's behavior. A hiatus does not automatically mean someone is leaving the group. It's not the best sign, of course, but it simply means the artist needs time. And that's it. KATSEYE has many fans who are not traditional K-pop fans, and maybe some of them are confused because in Western pop, it's less common to formally announce health-related breaks. Artists often just disappear from activities, quietly without an official statement. There are also fans who seem to want Manon gone, because a fan war has formed between solo stans of Daniela and Manon, and even some group fans appear to be taking sides. especially since Daniela has had a few recent controversies that are harder for some people to defend. I personally don't believe the members hate each other, but I do believe that parents want to protect their children, and for some reason Daniela's father may have thought that attacking Manon, especially if he felt some of Manon's fans were attacking his daughter, was justified, even if that approach only made everything worse. In my opinion, Manon will return, and this whole situation will eventually just be remembered as a small stain in what could be a very long and successful career for the group.
Okay, I'm really sorry for adding this literally 20 minutes before the video goes up, but Manon just liked a post that said, another black girl subjected to racism and label mistreatment again, which makes us think that there might actually be something wrong between the company and Manon, and that maybe it has something to do with racism. I'm not sure because literally all the girls are from different racial backgrounds, so I don't understand why the company would want to create a group with girls from different nationalities, and then be racist toward them. I hope an official statement comes out soon clarifying the situation, whether KATSEYE is still 6, what's happening with Manon and everything else. I'll update you on my Instagram. Thank you so much.
And this has been all. I hope you like it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. It would help me a lot. See ya.